is they put false power dynamics in place that get in the way of true collaboration and trust and ascension. They really, if you get too attached to the org chart and you assign someone too much power and authority, you will end up deferring and holding parts of yourself back that could have the innovative idea or that just are organic and feel natural, right? So we end up subduing ourselves, and that's where people are like, oh, you're not really authentic, or it just comes out, it's going to be weird, right? If anytime we are not fully expressed. And so I was having a conversation with a leader today, and their leader just changed. And I said, this is a great opportunity, because they said, I notice sometimes that I'm fine to have an opinion and I can lead when I'm on my own. But the minute my boss comes in the room, I obviously am like, oh, well, you're here. Please take the thing. And that's not always in your best interest. And also, like, give your boss a break and keep taking the lead a little bit. And I said, well, here's the thing with this new boss, there's an opportunity. You're all colleagues. You all work for the same, you all go through the same door and have the same sign over. It's all the same company. The organizational chart is a bunch of boxes that someone made pretty little Excel spreadsheet or whatever it is. I don't want to diminish that, because we do need structure and organization, but we adhere to that structure. We assign too much power to that structure sometimes. Whereas if you can meet, like, we're peers right now, and I get it. You're in the role of my boss, and your responsibilities, your consequences, your accountabilities are different than mine. So I get that there is a power difference, or so there is a difference of some sort, but that doesn't mean that you're better than me, that you have more power than you may have more influence, you may have decision-making power. But in terms of us as people, I should be able to come to you and say, I disagree, or I'm concerned about this, or what do you think? Like, we should be able to all be self-expressed and have the trust that no one's going to get in trouble, because we're all working for the same organization. Advice I give to leaders, and this is another mindset shift that I think is important, that sometimes if you don't make this shift, it will hold you back, is your job as a leader is to actually be making yourself redundant. I tell people all the time, build a team that's so strong that you can't tell who the boss is. Yeah, they can't do anything without me. They'll never survive without me. I'm the only one that's keeping this place running. If that's the case and you don't own the business, you're a sucker. If you can't step away for a vacation or a cup of coffee or something, then you're not leading to the full capacity at all. That's a problem. That's not sustainable. It's not gonna advance anyone, including you. When I talk to people in organizations that are in the positions to promote, they they will say to me, Kendra, this person that we're asking you to coach, they are already fully promotable. The problem is their team can't take the hit of them leaving, because it's so dependent on this one person. So the coaching is not on this leader getting better. It's about them creating the capacity on their team to be able to function and be able to take in a new leader. And so it's all a capacity thing. But if you can set that up for yourself early and in the beginning. It requires you to be a little bit rebellious and do some things really differently, instead of just focusing on what are you got to have some small quick wins for sure, and be some, like, I'm doing something over here in this chair, but you don't have to go chasing and be like, I just hit you know what I mean, an all-star home run or whatever the sports reference is there. um it's to be practical and thoughtful and making conscious choices that are designed for the long term. Yeah. Also, when you become redundant to that system, it'll spit you out and not think twice about it. So that's another area where leaders, I think, hold themselves back, is they're not comfortable. It's an inequitable balance of power, of give and take. They overgive and they don't set those boundaries. They are just constantly on, instead of, yeah, you're good for the machine and the machine is good for you. And organizations, for profit, not for profit, I don't care. If you're in business, you you will take whatever, any company will take whatever you're willing to give it. So if you are going to stay up all night and all weekend, they're not going to say please don't do this, or they might, but they're not going to come to your house and yank you away from your computer and force you to take a nap. So that's our responsibility, is to really know, in order to perform at my best and to continue delivering results that you expect, this is what I require, and here's how I need to structure this and be willing to work within that sort of negotiation process. Oh, okay. Another way leaders hold themselves back is they get myopically focused on their job, and they fail to see beyond the corners of their desk and make time to show up in unexpected places and have conversations with other areas of the business where they technically should have no business. But if you think about a CEO, anyone who runs a business and sits in that big chair, they need to know what's going on, at least enough to critically evaluate in every department, line of service, whatever that is. But most people just get so focused on, I got to do the day to day of my job. And then the next thing you know, it's performance review and goal setting time. And what's your next career move? And they're like, either I don't know, or I want this. And then they're told, well, go figure it out. Or, well, it's great that you want that, but who over there even knows who you are? You're going to have to prove yourself and machete your way through the jungle to get there, right? Versus think of the learning you can get by really understanding how the business operates and where. So that's some of the best advice I ever got when I worked in corporate. Someone said to me, what you got to figure out how the money flows and how the business makes money. Because once you become not a cost center, but a revenue center, and how that all happens and how that but you got to be poking yourself around in little places, and people go, well, I don't know, because what if so and so gets mad because I'm talking to this person on this side of the building, and I'm like, well, then you should say, but I thought we all work at the same company. Yeah. How am I supposed to know what I want to do when I don't really know what all the nooks and crannies are? Especially think about if you work for a highly matrixed organization, a global organization, you know what I mean? Like a publicly traded company, or if you work for a smaller boutique company, it's thinking, well, how could I grow this business? Do I want skin in the game? Like it always comes back to that expansion. But we get very hung up on rules and invisible borders and boundaries and mandates. And people think that, oh, if I do my job, to your point around, we get this advice of show up every day, get a good job, keep your head down, do a good job. Do you know what I mean? Be indispensable. We do that, and people then go to those meetings and go, well, I'm doing the job fully effective in the role I want to be promoted. But what actually makes someone promotable is not just did they fulfill the brief, but did they expand the job? Is it now a new role because of what you turned it into? That's promotable. But if you're too busy just trying to dot your I's and cross your T's, you're never going to have a chance to create, to innovate, to meet people, to have a creative experience of life. And that's why people start to get demotivated and burnt out. And because it's just like, oh, I'm really tired and I'm working really hard, but I don't really feel like I'm getting a lot out of it.